It's the Chick Show. It's the Chick Show. It's the Chick Show.
Hey, welcome everybody. Buckle in. This is gonna be an adventure. You are in the right place. This is the Schick Show. You found me. I am Scott Schick, your host for roughly 30 minutes. Let's take a ride to work. I am excited you're here. I have so much to share with you. Like, this podcast is for you by me. That's right. For you by me. Share my life, thoughts, experiences, and the people I've met along the way. The list is long but distinguished. My story is filled with twists, wrong turns, rollovers, and corrections, and a bunch of wheelies in between. Now let's go, people. Today we will explore who I am, where I come from, and where I am going. Man, I'm so excited. We've got some cool stuff. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while, and I'm so happy you are taking the time out of your day to spend it with me. And hopefully, this can be an interaction between us where, it's not just me talking to you. I want your feedback. I want to hear from you. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at the Real Mr. Schick. You can shoot me an email, therealmrschick@gmail or scottstevenschick@gmail. I am excited to interact with you, learn from you. Heck, I'd love to have you on the podcast. If you got some interesting stuff, some cool stuff, let's get together and explore it. So, with that being said, who am I? Well, let's explore that. Let's explore who I am. So I am a son, a brother, husband, father, friend, mentor. I wear many, many hats. And I heard something a while back. I can't remember where I heard it, but I'm pretty sure it was on a TV show. I am an avid TV show watcher. I'm a streamer. I absolutely love streaming various series and watching a lot of different types of things. And we'll get into that at a later date. Man, I can't wait to talk about The Sopranos and some of my favorite favorite shows that I've watched, and what I've learned about me through that. But man, I'm so pumped. I'm sorry I keep saying it, but I just am. I heard something a while back, and I can't remember where it was. Like I said, I can be more than one thing. You are more than one thing. It was on a show. If somebody knows where that was said, you are more than one thing. It was an older guy saying it to somebody else. Um, Shoot me a message. Just shoot me an email or hit me on Twitter or something. Let me know where that was from. I'm dying to remember. But I can be more than one thing. I think that's really interesting. You are bigger than the one thing that someone may define you as. And just from that initial list from me, son, brother, husband, father, friend, mentor. I was a coach. I've been, many many things, and um, we don't. Sometimes we don't think of ourselves in this way, but we are. We wear many hats. We are many different things to many different people. I define myself as a son, brother, husband, father, friend, mentor. But take the time to see yourself from someone else's perspective. Just take a moment here. I'm going to shut up for just a few seconds and think about who you are to those around you. Are you living up to that? Take the time to see yourself from someone else's perspective, and then refocus that lens back towards you. We are many things. And my children, they don't see me as my brothers and sisters do. I'm their little brother. But to my kids, I'm their dad. I certainly don't see, I don't, I didn't see my dad as a sibling. My brothers and my sister, I see them as like I don't know if I even want to say equal, because I still look up to them in so many ways. And um, they they are incredible people. They have overcame so much, and man, I'm they motivate me. And I'm not sure they know that, but they are still my big brothers and big sister that I look up to, that I was looking up to just as a little boy and as a teenager, trying to figure out how, like, ever, how am I ever going to live up to that? But we are more than one thing. And, that definition we give ourselves, are we thinking about the definition others are giving us? What it is from their perspective. Take the time to see yourself from their eyes. Just refocus that lens. My children, I hope this is an opportunity for them to see me differently, to kind of see into me as a person, as Scott, not as dad. You know, um, I share I share so much with my wife, with Jennifer, that we are best friends. She's my best friend. I don't know if I'm her best friend. I don't know if I'm worthy of being her best friend. I do my best to live up to that. She's an incredible person, and I'm just trying to keep up, man. But my children don't see me as my brothers and sisters do, and my parents didn't see me as my aunts and uncles did either. My aunts and uncles are looking at me differently than what my parents do. I think as parents, we have a skewed view, just as we do, as a sibling, someone close to us. We see things differently than someone who doesn't have that connection, doesn't have that innate love. And I think that's really important. I fear sometimes we see ourselves in such a narrow way that we forget who we are to others, and um, we get hung up in one of those definitions. Almost, I hate to say a rut. I don't know if I agree with my own term there, but um, I think sometimes we get locked in, and it's important for us to maintain those different hats. But I grew up in Hartford City, Indiana. A little bit about me. I just want to kind of get back here. I kind of got off on a tangent. I have two brothers and a sister. Bill, well, Kathy's the oldest, and then Bill, and Joe. And my parents, Margie and Sonny, they were married for 45 years. They were amazing people, coming from two different worlds. Oh man, I can't wait to explore that either. We're gonna touch on some real topics, guys. But my parents were married 45 years. I love them dearly. I am so glad I was raised in the family I was raised in. With that being said, it was not it was not roses and peaches and cream, man. There were some struggles there in the Schick family, and I was not always proud of you know our home. I was not always super excited about some different things, but I can look back now with a very different focus and say thank you to my family, thank you to my parents, thank you to my siblings and aunts and uncles and all the extended family that have impacted me. But I can definitely look back and see it differently. And with that being said, I think I would have also liked to have known my parents as a friend would have known my parents. Now, I don't want that to be confused. I didn't want to be friends with my parents. I don't want to be friends with my kids. Um, I'm their I'm their mentor, just as my parents were my mentor, and I'm always going to be that guide. I do not want to blur that line. Um, I want to make sure they know I will always be honest with them, and um, I will treat them as as I would any of my friends. And God bless it, man. I probably lost some friends because I've said what I was thinking, and thank you, Bob Schick, for that one. Um, but I always hope that it was for the best, and it was with the best intentions. So guys, if you're listening, and man, I screwed up and said something really dumb or offensive to you, listen, it was I love you, and I said it because I thought it needed to be said, and I was hoping for the best outcomes for you. And I apologize if it was taken in a way that hurt, in a way that affected our relationship. I am sorry for that, because I do I do adore all my relationships with people, even those that aren't great. I still care about them. But anywho, man, I could go off on that one for a while too. But like I said, I grew up in Hartford City, just an amazing family, and um, so glad I was raised by them. Um, as friends, meaning I wish I would have known them as their friends knew them, just so I could have some insight. What was Sonny Schick, what was Bob Schick like to his friends? Um, I know they liked him. Like he had a ton of friends as I got to know him as an older man, and our relationship altered and changed and evolved. You know, I got to interact with some of his friends that he had and get to see him in a different light. But I would have loved to have known. What was my mom like? She was a fun lady, man. We're gonna talk in the next episode about just her dancing around the house and sock hopping and 50s music. Just she was a fun loving lady, and I would like to have known her as a friend, as as a friend would know her. You know what I mean? Like I want my mom to be my mom. I am so fortunate to have had the parents I had, but I would like to have known what she was perceived of as a friend. I can imagine it. Very fortunate in the work I do that I get to see a lot of people um, grow and change, and there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh my gosh, that was me, or that was my brother, or whatever, or that was a friend, and I get to see that. But that being said, I just jump back on here. I doubt they would have wanted that. Just like I doubt that I really want my kids to know me as a friend would have known me. Um, there were just some dumb stuff, just some of those little things where, I'm glad my kids uh, don't know all that, and maybe through this they're going to learn some of it. But um, you know, I do want them to know I'm a fun guy. I like to have fun. I think they know that. They're well aware of that. I like to laugh, and um, I cherish my relationships. Um, but I do wish I knew the friend, and I'm air quoting, and you all can't see it, or at least known the story of them. You know, uh, what what was going through their heads? That would have been really cool. It made me think about a quote I heard, read. It was a Mark Twain quote, and I wrote it down here. The trouble is not in dying for a friend, but in finding a friend worth dying for. And I've been so fortunate. Many people have impacted my life, and my aspirations have always been to be worthy of my friends. And I am someone who values relationships, like I said, and who hopes to connect and bring a commonality to the conversation. As human beings, we're wired to find differences. It's what we like. That's how we've survived. We've recognized differences, and I want those differences to be our common ground. I want them to make us stronger. I want those differences to help us find right in this world, and that's what my passion is I'm not a right fighter. Listen, I think there's many things worthy of fighting for, but and right is certainly one of those. But I don't want this to be misconceived as, oh, there he is, Mr. Schick, the right fighter, or Scott, the right fighter. Nah, hey man, I I'm a pretty easygoing dude, and I just want everybody to explore and find and enjoy this life. Enjoy as many trips around the sun as we can get. Hartford City. We got to talk about Hartford City. It's a small community. It's in Blackford County, Indiana. It's a town of about 600 people and a county of nearly 12,000 ish. It's a farming community. There's some industry here, some small business. But the motto for the high school, or kind of the adopted motto, is once a Bruin, always a Bruin. And I graduated from Blackford High School in 1992. There were right at about 170, 175 of us in that class. And the population of the high school has been dwindling, but since the 80s, my siblings went to school in the early 80s. My wife's siblings went to school in the late 70s, early 80s, and it has been dwindling since. I believe the high school was built to house around 1,200 students, and like I said, about 175 in me and Jennifer's class. So that's well shy of 1,200. My brothers, I'm guessing there were a little over 200 in each of theirs. But today, the high school population is closer to 500, maybe. Our community is changing. It's ever evolving. This just school climate. The open enrollment has affected that. I would guess there's probably a 10%, maybe 15% of kids that aren't going there now. That's sad, man. That was a great school, and it's a beautiful facility. Like, it's well kept, it's well managed. Um, I am forever a Bruin. Um, I, our community has lost some manufacturing, um, and transportation changes and just the economy changes. So, I mean, whatever reason, but I'm excited to see what is coming next for it. But anyhow, I'm getting way off on a tangent. Gosh, man, first episode, and I can't even stay on task, people. I told you, what was my first line? It was something like, "Everybody buckle in." Well, buckle in, guys, because we're twist turns, and we're going all over the place here. Whew. I think that our community, like I said, it's changing. It's been changing. However, I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of where I live. I'm very proud of where I come from. And I was thinking today about how communities have their own culture. It's interesting. I've lived in two small towns. I've lived in Hartford City. I've lived in Madison, Indiana. And we'll dive much deeper into Madison in future episodes too. But Madison reminded me so much of the Hartford City I grew up in. And during the 80s and 90s, Hartford City was alive. It was fun. People were involved. We had so many like little league teams, and there were all the businesses downtown were full. You could ride your bike all over the place, and there was always somebody watching out. I always remember be riding my bike down the road, and Kim Collett pull up, and she go, "I'm gonna tell your mom you were smoking." I'm like, "I'm not smoking." "I'm gonna tell you were smoking." I promise I wasn't smoking. Kim, man, she was always watching out for us. She was like keeping an eye on me. And oh man, I was so mad at her for it then. But now I'm looking back going, oh, that was pretty cool of her, just to keep me in check. She cared enough about me to keep me in check. So thanks, Kim. I appreciate you. But I was thinking about how the different communities had different cultures, and it's interesting. Madison reminded me so much of what I grew up in, and it is a thriving little town. And when you go online, you read social media, it's not like people just like dogging it. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, step out for a minute. It's kind of what we're talking about here. Step out of your own skin for a minute and see what other people see, and maybe you'll just stop dogging yourself, man. But it is incredible. But Hartford City was fantastic to grow up in. I absolutely loved it. Man, we rode our bicycles everywhere. Basketball down at Hoover Park, dude. Oh man, you couldn't even get in the game. It would be 50 kids down there trying to get in a basketball game, and winner stays. So you just got to make sure you're on that next team that has a chance to win. Everybody's kind of jockeying, trying to put their best team together. But there was always the guys like me that got stuck on the teams that sucked. And we'd get in for a game and get throttled and twist our ankles and go home and I'm going to get better and come back and win tomorrow. But I heard in the 50s, 60s, 70s that Hartford City was just alive, that it was booming. It was people out all the time, and everybody knew each other. Businesses were thriving. The economy was rolling. Businesses were all full. Still had all the old buildings uptown that have been demolished. There's more being demolished now. Gosh, man. Oh, it breaks my heart. But the 80s were truly a special time. Man, the culture of Hartford City today compared to what I experienced as a youth, I'm sad for the kids here. They won't see that. But Madison, on the other hand, it's kind of in an up, and it's a beautiful little town, and it was fun to go down there and spend 3 years and bring back those experiences, and I hope to share those with all my Hartford City brethren and help get this place rolling again. But they have their own cultures. It's really interesting how I've been working over in western Grant County at Oak Hill, and what an awesome community that is too. They are, it's a farming community. It's like 4 communities that all come together as one and consider themselves Oak Hill. I haven't seen the rivalry between each little town, Converse, Swayze, Sweetser, Amboy. I haven't seen like bitterness between them like we see here in Blackford County between Hartford City and Montpelier, and I think some of that roots to the origins of Hartford City becoming the capital of the county seat. Sorry, not the capital of Blackford County. Take a break, Schick. Yeah, yeah, the county seat. I think there's still just that animosity carried over generationally, and we still see it today. But listen, I'm excited to share all these things with you guys, and I'm so happy you've taken the time out to listen here with me. And I want to make sure you understand, where am I going in this life with this podcast? Yeah, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. I've got some things scheduled out that I'll be pushing out here, and some main points we're going to be talking about. We'll talk about art. We'll talk about philosophy. We'll talk about some different things. But I want to hear back from you. Make sure you're communicating back to me too. And I am not sorry that I do not have a preconceived plan. I'm not going to apologize for it. I envy those who do, who have it. I remember like sitting in a car with a guy a few years ago. I'm not going to mention names because I have a ton of respect for this guy. We did not see eye to eye on many things, but he was like, "Do you have a 5-year plan? Do you have any kind of plans moving forward?" And I'm like, "Dude, we're going to win today. We're going to kill it today, and then we're going to encounter something that's going to make us change and evolve, and we're going to get better." And that 5-year plan that you're talking about, you're going to be so frustrated that you're trying to, we went at it. And I was so thankful that there was someone that was willing to challenge me in that situation. I'm thankful for it. And I told him that. Like, I do not want a bunch of yes people around me, but I don't have a 5-year plan. I don't. And I doubt I will. So we are going to take what comes at us. We're going to keep, bumping along. I have like a 13-year plan. I am finding every way possible to find a way to retire at 62 and a half. So you better believe that. Feel that one. But I envy those who have it. I really do. I envy those who know what they want, who know where they're going, who have an idea and they pursue it. And from long term, like I, man, it crushed me to not know what I was going to do when I got out of high school. I was so confused, and we're going to explore that in episode 2. But uh, research shows that only 1 in 10 people are actively working their dream job. 1 in 10. 1 in 10. Are you one of those 1 in 10? I am. I've been very fortunate. I have many things I'm interested in, and I've pursued them, and I've pursued them with passion, and I went after them. I've owned my own business. I've, I've been a teacher. I've been a principal. I have experienced a lot life has to offer, and I'm so happy that I have. Has it always been easy? Absolutely not. I don't think anything worth pursuing is easy. But I still think that if I were to put a 5-year plan together, it would change 10 minutes later. That's who I am. And I know it drives my wife absolutely nuts. But I've proven time and time again that I will continue to succeed and grow and get better. And, you know, I'm better for it. I'm happier because of it. But that doesn't mean I don't envy those who have that plan. You know, one of my best friends in high school, he knew what he wanted. He went after it. He did it. And it was a long-term commitment to it from like 15 until he was, almost 30 and still chasing it. And that's impressive, man. That is impressive. I look at like a Tom Brady that has played at the top level of his craft for all these years and ultra competitive. 32 teams in the NFL, and how many people have come and gone while he was in one team, one position, winning year in, year out. Oh, man, that is not an easy task. So 1 in 10 actively working their dream job. Are you one of those 1 in 10? Do you know what you want? Think about it for just a minute. Think deep. Look deep inside. Look into your life. What do you want? Look into the life you want. Are you chasing that? Are you active in that pursuit? If you are, man, keep going. You can do it. You will do it. I am excited for you. If you are not, get going. What are you waiting on? There is nothing that can stop you once you make that decision. Let's explore together how life can and should be within our grasp. That's what I want to do. Are you willing to make that commitment with me? Let's hang out together 30 minutes at a time and find out, can we do it? Can we overcome these short-term simplifications to strive for the long-term freedom of chasing the dream can give you? We will dive into the why of many different topics. Some simple, some complex, some may just be ridiculous. But I want to share with you my experiences, and hopefully it'll resonate with, just one or two of you. Just one or two. And it'll make sense, and you'll think, okay, I don't fit in that box that someone else has made, and I can do what I want. I can achieve what I want in life and do it my way. Guys, thanks so much for hanging in here with me. I'm glad you're buckled in. Stay that way. I'm coming at you with more. This is going to be an adventure, that's for sure. Message me on Instagram, Twitter. Shoot me an email, The Real Mr. Schick, Instagram and Twitter. And check out the website, theschickshow.com or scottschick.com. Shoot me an email at the real Mr. Schick at Gmail or at Scott Stevens Schick at Gmail. We've got some options here, right? Is that too many? Maybe I should just narrow it down. We'll figure it out. We'll see which one people are messaging me more, and we'll narrow it down to those. But thank you guys. It's been an awesome, awesome 30 minutes. I've had a blast. Hope you have too. Have a wonderful day. Keep chasing it. I love y'all, and have a great day, people.